Hello and welcome to another The Church at Hiraeth Sunday service from the upper room, which it quite literally is. We live in a bungalow, a dormer bungalow, and so this is the upper room. Very appropriate, isn't it? A couple of short messages this week. The first one comes from Galatians chapter 6 and verse 7. A man reaps what he sows. A man reaps what he sows. Towards the end of last year, when I was working in football, I was at the ground and there was a game about to take place, and I came across a couple of German groundhoppers. So they were there. They hadn't let anyone know that they were coming. It wasn't announced or anything, but our paths crossed. So I gave them a tour of the stadium. They met the manager, players, went into the dressing room, the areas that you can't normally go to when you go to a football match. And they thoroughly enjoyed it. And afterwards, one of them, his name was Sasha, they were from Leipzig in Germany, said to me, "Give me your address and I'll send you something." So I did. And this week I received a big parcel. Well, if you follow my other blogs, then you'll know what's in there, because I did open it up live and went through the contents. Lots of goodies in there. German chocolate, German food, German snacks, that sort of thing. And a pennant from the football club as well, which has gone up in my man cave. The other things will be eaten and will be devoured over time. But the pennant, that one, will remain, plus other things as well, which I've also got. But the point that I'm making is that a man reaps what he sows. If you're kind to people, then kindness will come back. If you're selfish, you're not interested in people, you don't care about them, then that's pretty much what will come back to you. When I worked in football, I used to love the groundhoppers, because as someone who has done a little bit of that myself over the years, I know what it's like to go to a new ground. And if we can make the occasion even more special for people, then that's even better, isn't it? And when we sow those acts of kindness into the lives of other people, we'll get them back in return. If when I was introduced to them and came across them, and I just said, "Hello, nice to see you, enjoy the game, bye," that would have been the end of it, wouldn't it? Selfishness doesn't produce a harvest or a positive harvest in return, does it? Everything will reap a harvest, but whether it's positive or negative depends on the seeds that we sow. A man reaps what he sows. Simple message, isn't it, really? But be kind to people, because you never know what comes back in return. You don't do it for kindness. I didn't do it. Take those German groundhoppers around the stadium thinking, "I wonder what's in this for me." Do things with a pure heart, a pure motive, and then there will be a harvest in return. It's a simple principle, but it's one that works. Now, Debbie this week is not feeling too well, but we've still got music, because I've got some clips still on my phone from previous weeks. So over to you, Debbie.
The hymn I'm going to sing today is called "I Will Sing the Wondrous Story."
The second short message that I want to bring is also from Galatians. It's a chapter 5, so the previous chapter, and in verse, where are we, 22, it tells us, but the fruit of the Spirit is love, joy, peace, patience. The fruit of the Spirit is patience. I've been fishing this weekend. In fact, yesterday, Saturday, I went out on February the 1st. It's always nice to catch a fish on the 1st of the month and then set yourself up nicely for the rest of the month. However, what I intended to be a quick 1.5 hour session, I didn't get anything at all. So I stayed for a couple of hours, and then 3 hours and 4 hours. I could, because I didn't have to get back for anything in particular. But as the time went by, there were things that I needed to get back for. I couldn't stay there for the rest of my life, could I? So I thought to myself, I'll give it 5 hours and then I will have to pack away. The 5 hours came, still no fish. But I kept going, I kept believing. And as I started to pack the things away, I got my rucksack packed. I got up the bait box and everything else, that was all sorted. Just the rod and the net at that stage. And as I bent down to pick up the rod, to reel it in for the final time, the float, if you know about fishing, you know all about this, the float started to move and then disappeared. I struck and I caught a tiny roach, but nevertheless, it avoided a blank. Patience. The fruit of the Spirit is patience. It's not just a spiritual thing, but it's a life application. Patience is so important. Perseverance is, you could also say, one of the things that comes into that particular story. But patience and perseverance go hand in hand, don't they? They sit very nicely alongside each other. Be patient. Keep believing that it will come good in the end. It's so easy to give up, isn't it? Couple of hours, not going to catch anything today. 3 hours, no way. 4 hours, no chance. 5 hours, it came good. Maybe you need patience at this time in your life. Maybe there's a situation that's going on and you want it to be resolved, but it isn't. And it's the equivalent of the 2 hours, 3 hours, 4 hours, 5 hour wait. Keep going, because in the end, it will come good. Over to Debbie for the remainder of that particular hymn.
I was lost, but Jesus found me, found the sheep that went astray. Through His loving arms around me, drew me back into His way. Yes, I'll sing the wondrous story of the Christ who died for me. Sing it with the saints in glory, gathered by the crystal sea.
Thank you for joining us this weekend. We do appreciate your company. The church at Hiraeth has its own website. Why not check it out? There's a Sunday service from the upper room and also a Wednesday words of wisdom as well. Yes, it's about God. It's based on the Bible, but also our intention is what we bring is also very practical as well. It's not just about theological head knowledge, but it's about stuff that we can put into practice in our own lives to make them more productive, happier, more fulfilled. Have a great week. Thank you for your company. We'll see you next Sunday, and I'll see you on Wednesday with the words of wisdom. And I do pray that you'll have a great week, and that maybe if you need patience, you need to stick at something that little bit longer, I pray that that patience will come through in your life. And also, the acts of kindness as well. Sow some of those this week, not to get something back, because that's the wrong motive. God knows our heart more than we do. And if we're doing something just so that we can get something back, wrong motive never, ever works. But think on these things. They are practical. And above all, they are things that we can put into practice in our life, and they work. See you next Sunday, or see you on Wednesday, whatever the case may be. Amen.